It is officially wedding season and I know how hard it is to find wedding guest outfits. So I have rounded up a few of my favorite places to shop, and I've also included a couple of new brands that I found recently as well. And I also want to talk about just a few general wedding guest do's and don'ts as well. Hopefully this can give you some inspiration or even just a place to start, because I know how overwhelming it is out there. I also want to mention that I have started a newsletter on Substack. I'm very excited about this because it's been on my to-do list for about 2 years, but I finally started a newsletter. And my first post is kind of like a sister post to this video, where I have picked out my personal favorite wedding guest looks, and I've categorized them into things such as like black tie or cocktail, or dresses that can be dressed down, like can be worn casually on holiday. So I've really tried to pick out some categories that I think would be useful for you. It's just another way for me to hopefully give you some inspiration and just sort of cut through the noise of everything that's out there on the internet. Speaking of Substack, if you don't know what it is, it's kind of like a blog/newsletter hybrid sort of platform. So when you subscribe to my newsletter, you will of course get them to your inbox. So I highly suggest that you subscribe. I'd be very honored. But the newsletters are also housed on Substack, so you can read them like a blog as I write them. I'll be sharing things like style guides and wish lists. I just really want it to be like a trove of inspiration for you. It's another way for me to talk about fashion and style related things without having to worry about the YouTube algorithm. It's also very community based. You can obviously comment on the posts. There's a chat feature where you can ask me questions. You can request posts if you want. You can request for me to deep dive into anything. So yeah, it's quite a fun new platform that I'm really excited, well, new for me, it's not a new platform, which I'm just really excited to start doing. And yes, I would be very honored if you would subscribe, and the link is in the description box, and let's get into the wedding stuff. Okay, so let's talk about some wedding guest do's and don'ts. As much as I am all for, expressing who you are through what you're wearing and, personal style, I do think a wedding is the one place where there are certain rules that you should follow, and I think it's the one place where there are, certain appropriate things that you should follow as a wedding guest. But of course, like anything, these rules don't have to be followed. You know the bride and groom the best, and these rules can be, chopped and changed. These are just kind of guidelines, if you will. I think if you're ever in doubt about what to wear, or if you're ever not sure, just ask the bride and groom. You might have a bride that really doesn't care what you wear. You might have a bride that cares more than you think they should care. But I just have to say, ultimately, the wedding day is not about you. The wedding day is about the bride and groom, and so that should be top of mind. Can you wear white to a wedding? Absolutely not. I would avoid white, creams, ivories, off-whites, just any of those in the vicinity of white and cream, I would avoid. If you have a cream jacket and that is the only jacket that will go with your outfit, I do think that it is okay to wear a cream jacket as long as that's not like the main part of your jacket. And also, I would take it off for photos. That is my opinion. Obviously, it depends on the bride. The bride might not even want you to wear a cream jacket, so maybe just make sure. But if you do, I would definitely take it off for photos. Can you wear black to a wedding? So I think yes, personally. If it was my wedding and I had a few guests show up in black outfits, I think that's completely fine. Most people own black outfits, and I personally don't expect my guests to buy something new for my wedding. However, in some cultures, black is strictly a funeral color, it's a negative color. And so wearing black could be seen as a bad omen on the wedding day. But again, that could be a cultural thing, so you have to make sure with the bride and groom. Another color that I think you need to be a bit more wary of is red. So in Chinese culture, the bride normally wears red, and so if you were a guest wearing red, it would be seen as like you're trying to upstage the bride, which I don't think you should do. Please avoid neon or anything super, super bright. I just think that you will stick out in photos in a bad way. No one loves neon that much that they have to wear neon on someone else's wedding day. Just please choose another color. Prints and patterns, I think, are a yes, depending on what they are. So florals and polka dots, I think, are a yes. They're very like happy and sweet. Animal print, like a leopard print or a zebra print or a cow print, I would say no. I just think that that is not appropriate for a wedding. I think it's very casual. I think it just gives off like the wrong impression. I think stripes and gingham are a yes, but it depends on the type of wedding it is. Like if it's a casual daytime wedding, then I think a stripe and a gingham is appropriate. So it really depends on the wedding itself. And also if you wear like a gingham, I think that you have to work harder with your accessories to make the gingham seem more wedding appropriate. So I think you'd have to wear fancier accessories. I think sequins are okay if it's more of an evening event with like an after party and stuff like that. But also I think it depends on the dress. So because sequins in my mind are quite sort of juvenile and cute, I do think the silhouette and the color and the way you accessorize the dress as well needs to be a little bit more sophisticated to kind of offset the sequins. So a lot of wedding guest dresses can fall under like a bridesmaid type of dress. And so I think it's important to also try and avoid whatever color the bridesmaids are wearing, because you don't want to look like an accidental bridesmaid, or you don't want to look like you were trying to be in the wedding party when you aren't, because I think that can look a bit tacky, whether or not it was intentional. I just think it's a bad look. So if you are looking at dresses that do look like bridesmaids dresses, like, you know, your typical bridesmaids dresses, maybe just make sure with the wedding party, ask what their wedding colors are, just to make sure. I would also just avoid anything that's like too sexy. So anything that has a really low neckline, like a lot of cleavage, super short hemlines, any sheer materials. I think there's a time and a place for these outfits, and a wedding just isn't one of them. Whilst, you know, the bride and the groom might be fine with it, you also need to consider that their family members are going to be there. So, you know, aunties, uncles, their parents, grandparents, maybe even great grandparents if they're lucky enough, and children, kids might be there. So I just think, you know, just rein it in just for that one day. I just wouldn't. So the last piece of advice I would like to leave with you is just about general occasion wear shopping. And it's something I read a while ago, but I thought it was quite a good piece of advice, and it's something I've done and it's worked for me. It's that when you see a dress or just a piece of occasion wear that you really like, and like you genuinely really love it and it looks great on you, and it can kind of fit into different scenarios, I would just buy it, even if you don't have an event coming up, which sounds counterintuitive, but just stick with me. And this is because oftentimes when we have like a wedding or an event coming up, we sort of scramble to find something to wear, and we will end up probably buying something that we don't love wearing. We're just kind of settling for it because we need it at the time. But if you have a piece that you've bought because you love and you haven't bought it under the pressure of, oh my gosh, I just need something now, then it's more likely to be a piece that fits within your personal style. You genuinely enjoy wearing it and it makes you feel really good. And it's more likely to be a piece that you're going to keep and you're going to wear and rewear over and over again for different events. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good piece of advice, and I wanted to leave that with you as well. So I have my laptop now, and I will just go through a couple of brands that I would I just whacked the microphone. Yeah, a couple of brands that I would personally shop from if I was looking for a wedding guest outfit, which I am. So let's start with Doan. If you guys like Suzanne, which I know you do, if you're watching my channel, you will love Doan. I feel like Doan is kind of like Suzanne's older sister in a good way. They make the most gorgeous dresses. Like, I honestly dream about owning a Doan dress. So you can see that just all the florals, lace, silk, they really just do it all. However, they are quite pricey. So they range from about 300 to about 600 pounds. But honestly, these are dresses that you're gonna wanna wear more than once. And I'm, a big advocate of wearing things more than once. And honestly, does anyone really remember what you wear? No, they don't. Like, can you tell me what your friends wore the last wedding that you all went to together? Probably not. So I think just, think about it like that. And accessories and hair and makeup can change a whole outfit, even if you are wearing the same dress. I would personally rather spend a little bit more on a dress that I love and I can't wait to wear, and I'm like wanting there to be events that I can wear it for, rather than buying something that, it's cheaper, but I just don't love it as much, It's just, So, I mean, it just really depends what you prioritize as a person. But going back to Doan, I just think their designs, even though they are, florally and lacy, they also have quite a timeless quality about them. I really do think you could whip one of these dresses out in a few years and still look great. They kind of have like a timeless vintage quality, like a timeless vintage look. Which is why I think they're so popular. And they also do use expensive materials such as silk. So the price is justified in a way. Next we have Sir the Label. So this is the first of a few Australian brands. Australian brands just do it so well. I don't know what it is, but they do occasion wear so well. I think it's because they have the weather for it. That's what I'm putting it down to. But they are another kind of minimal sort of brand, and just another great brand to browse, really. I think they have some really beautiful dresses. Their selection is great for pieces that are both wedding appropriate, but also can be worn on holiday. So yeah. Also, with all the Australian brands that I'm going to mention, because there are quite a few, like I said, some of them are also stocked on bigger websites such as like Revolve or Selfridges. So if shipping from Australia from these brands directly is a little bit difficult for you, look on bigger retailer websites such as, Selfridges, Revolve. I think Sir the Label is on My Teresa as well. Have a look on those websites where the shipping is more international. Next we have by Molina, which is a Swedish brand. They've got a really big range of colors and prints and silhouettes. I also noticed that they use a lot of recycled polyester and Lenzing Ecovero. So Ecovero is viscose, but Lenzing is the brand that manufactures viscose, which they call Ecovero, in a more sustainable way. So it uses like less water and chemicals than like the traditional manufacturing of viscose. I will leave a link in the description box where you can read more about Lenzing Ecovero, because I think it's quite interesting. If sustainability is something that is important to you, then by Molina could be a good brand to shop from. Next, of course, I couldn't do an occasion wear video without talking about Reformation. I know, original suggestion, but I mean, they just have a huge selection of occasion wear, and they also have a petite section, which I personally I value. And they do offer natural fibers such as silk. However, I have heard that the quality of Reformation has gone down, so proceed with caution. But I do love their designs. They really do make some great wedding guest options. Oh, but Reformation are also very big on the resale market. Potentially, you can browse the website, maybe even go into a Reformation store and try some things on. You might be able to find someone selling it on Vinted, because honestly, Reformation is huge on the secondhand market. Or you could buy something new and then resell it. So there's that option as well. Because I found that Reformation stuff gets sold really quickly on Vinted. At least the stuff that I have saved on Vinted that is Reformation, it always gets sold really fast. So yeah, that could be something to think about as well. Next, we have Kittree, which is a brand that's new to me. I think it's a British brand. They are very bright, very floral, very wedding. And as you guys know, I don't wear that many bright colors. Even right now, I'm like pale white and gray trousers. But I'm actually really drawn to a lot of their pieces, not just their wedding guest outfits, but they've got a lot of really nice jackets and things like that as well. And again, I do think quite a fair few of these pieces could also be worn on holiday. Yeah, I think they're quite a nice new brand discovery for me. Next, we have Cezanne, of course. I can't forget about Cezanne on this channel. I personally haven't bought any occasion wear pieces from Cezanne. All of my pieces from there are very sort of everyday wear pieces. But as I was browsing through their occasion wear, it looks like, as well as dresses, they have a lot of co-ords. So a lot of like skirts and matching tops, or trousers and matching tops or jackets. And I do think that if you are looking for, if you don't want to buy like a strictly wedding guest only outfit, a co-ord is like a great place to start. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. A co-ord is a great option because you can get a lot more wear out of these pieces. You can style the trousers with a different top, and it doesn't have to be worn to a wedding. You know, you can wear the top with a different skirt, you know, things like that. You get a lot more versatility when it comes to buying a co-ord. There's just a lot more styling options that you have. I also think that Cezanne are really good at like more fun shoes and accessories. If again, you do want to wear something a bit more plain, but dress it up with the accessories, then yeah, Cezanne also have really good options for that. So next I have Beck Bridge. This is an Australian brand, and if you like that really silky, slinky look, then this is definitely the brand to go for. They're a brand that is very like typical bridesmaid dress brand, because a lot of their staple styles they do in loads of different colors, and they just do like silky maxi dresses really well, just like in lots of different sort of cuts. So if you like that sort of look, then yeah, Beck Bridge is definitely a brand to check out. Actually, as we're on the topic of Australian brands, I'll just give you the next two Australian ones. So this is another brand that's new to me. It's called Arina Ori. They have some really unique dresses. Now, going back to my wedding guest do's and don'ts about like don't be too sexy, I do think some of these dresses are probably not wedding appropriate, but I just wanted to get this brand on your radar in case you have something that any of these dresses would work well for, because I really like their designs. There's just something a little bit different, and they also have this incredible yellow dress that resembles that Andy Anderson dress from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, which is the dress that everyone wants and everyone wants to wear. Oh, it's sold out. That's annoying. So yeah, maybe it will come back in stock. So the last Australian brand is Shona Joy, and I have actually bought from here before when I lived in Australia. I've bought this dress, which I'll put on screen. It's like a teal dark green, which I wore to a wedding. And then the dress that you guys always see in my profile picture and at the end of my videos in my end screen is also Shona Joy. It's like white that has crisscross back. Yeah, they have really beautiful dresses. I really wish I took more advantage of shopping from Shona Joy when I lived in Australia, but I just didn't have that many events to go to. They've got a lot of like printed and plain pieces, and I just think the silhouettes of their pieces are really nice. So yeah, check them out. Check them out. They also, I think they're stocked on Revolve. So yeah, have a look. So next we have Rixo, which I believe is another UK brand. They do a lot of printed, like florally fun dresses. They're not your typical wedding guest dress, which I really like. You know, you just want something a bit more fun. And I definitely think Rixo would be the place that I would shop from if I wanted something a bit different. I really like the chain belts that they put around quite a few of their dresses as well. It just makes it's like not so typical wedding guest, you know? And I like that. Okay, next we have another brand that is new to me. This is, I think I found them on Instagram actually. Like I think I got an Instagram ad. And the brand is called Sonia Moda. There's a range of dresses here. Like some of them are very, very formal and some of them are more plain and some of them can be worn also like on holiday. So they really have quite a range. But what I thought was good is like, I thought the price point for them was quite good. So they're about £200, but I think they look a lot more expensive. And I think that's why I saved this brand. So that is another brand to look at. So these last three brands I wanted to include because they are on a lower price point than the ones I've been showing you. Of course, budget is a huge consideration when it comes to wedding guest shopping. So the first brand that I have is called Omen, and they are a brand that I've actually had on my radar for quite a long time, but I've never purchased from them. They call themselves a sustainable brand. They use a lot of recycled polyester and Ecovero, which we all know is a material that I greatly enjoy. So that was a nice surprise to see that. And all of their dresses are like under £100. So they're all about 85 pounds, 80 to 90 pounds. Very simple in design, which I think is what you would get for this price point. But they all seem to be like very nice, you know, wedding appropriate dresses. So if you are looking for a dress that's under £100, I do think this is quite a good site to browse. They do just those very typical like silky looking dresses. So the next brand on this sort of lower-ish price point that I wanted to include is Ghost, which I think is, yes, it's a UK brand, but they have a range of like 95 to £200. So on the end of the 95 range, you do have that kind of plain silky dress, which I think is typical for that price point. I think for that price, you can't expect lots of design features and intricate detailing because that's just not possible at that price. But I just wanted to include them if you were looking for something that's slightly cheaper, but still nice. Because I do think that their like silky dresses do look quite good. And they also come in lots of different colors and prints, but then their prices do increase if you want like slightly more design details and things like that. So I wanted to include this brand. And then lastly, I wanted to include a brand called True Decadence for more like fun dresses that are still under £200, because they do have some more intricate designs that sort of remind me of like self-portrait in a way. The way they have like the ruffles, the lace cutouts, but for a much cheaper price point. And obviously for a price point like this, I don't know how well it's made, but if that's something that you don't mind in an occasion wear piece, like if you know you're only going to wear it one time, 2 times, then I do think their dresses do look nice. But again, I can't say how good the quality is. And obviously for this price, you can't expect like real silk or anything like that. Budget is a very big consideration, and I didn't want to just include like really expensive brands. And I do think the dresses on here are quite pretty and quite nice. One last honorable mention is the Outnet, because I just don't think the Outnet get enough credit. I've bought some really good stuff on the Outnet. Admittedly, it's not occasion wear. I haven't shopped for occasion wear on here, but I've bought like shirts from Equipment from here for like half price. Jeans, I've bought Citizens of Humanity jeans from here for like under £100. So if you just take the time to browse, it might be worth your while. So they even have a wedding guest section on here where they have like some designer dresses. And if you filter for maybe like your size or maybe a color that you want to wear, you might find something that you like for a really good price. So, you know, like, look, this sleeper dress is 40% off, and I would so wear that. And then a Marge dress for 55% off. Oh gosh, I don't know what this dress is doing here. I do not think that is a wedding guest dress at all. But I digress. So I hope that this video was helpful, at least to give you like a starting point of where to look or what to buy, because there's a lot out there. Remember to subscribe to my newsletter and check out the post about wedding guest dresses, because I've picked out my personal favorite pieces. I've got lots more posts coming, and I would be very honored if you subscribed. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.